Good morning, whoever's going to join me this morning as we chat about Facebook ads. While I'm just waiting for my screen to come up to show me who's going to join me, I am going to go live on Instagram too. So, good morning, Instagram. I wanted to have a chat this morning about Facebook ads. Something I'm really passionate about. I find it gets me quite outspoken, and I guess that's where my heading this morning's come from. Is Facebook ads like playing the pokies? A little bit controversial, I know. So, first of all, just hope everyone's safe with all this wet weather we're having at the moment. I'm down in Sydney and we've been home for a couple of days, quite wet down here. And the next thing I wanted to say is I'm in my casual clothes today and I wanted to tell you why. So, for those just joining me, I am a business coach to e-commerce mompreneurs, and I have a really big secret that helps me to get through my week a little bit more efficiently, and that's that I only do certain things on certain days. So Monday is actually my admin day, and I don't get dressed up on Mondays. I am not here to be all glamorous today in my work gear, which I normally am on the 3 days each week where I have clients on my coaching calls. On those days, I dress up, I have my lights on, everything's very professional, and I take a couple of coffees that morning, so I'm on for my clients. However, so I don't have to go to bed on a Sunday night feeling a little bit depressed about Mondays. I don't do any clients on a Monday. Monday is my admin day, and I spend 9 to 12 working on admin and 1 till about 4 working on marketing. So that is my Monday. So today you get me in my trackie, which is wonderful for this rainy day. So Facebook ads. Good morning for thanks, Jasmine. I look great apparently. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Blessing. Good morning, everyone on Instagram. I wanted to have a chat this morning about Facebook ads. So, this is going to be a little bit of a controversial chat actually, because I know a lot of you who are mompreneurs with your own e-com brands put a lot of money into Facebook ads, and I don't want to be disrespectful in this space because I understand that Facebook ads solve a problem. People think I need more clients to buy my products, and therefore if I do Facebook ads that will solve my problem and that will find me more clients, and sometimes that's true. However, I had a coffee with a girlfriend on Friday and she said, aren't Facebook ads a little bit like playing the pokies? And I thought, that is just the golden way of describing how I feel about Facebook ads. So, what I want to talk about is a couple of things this morning, just briefly, because I know we're all really busy. I'm really keen to share with you guys the idea that Facebook ads are a little bit like throwing money against a wall and hoping that it lands. And the reason I say this is that how many of you are actually measuring what you spend on Facebook ads? So there's a couple of things in this space. First of all, I would debate that many of you actually need Facebook ads, that in actual fact, what you spend on Facebook ads is more than what you get out of Facebook ads. And this is the trick, right? This is the pokies addiction. This is that I'm going to keep putting money into my Facebook ad account, and I'm going to keep cranking that lever on the side and hoping that I get some sales out of it. And more often than not, if you really do the numbers, most likely your Facebook ads are costing you more than you're getting as a return. And that's never a good thing. So I just want to have a bit of a chat about that. And I have just realized that no, don't seem to be on Instagram this morning. It's not connecting. Anyway, let's focus over here. So, what I wanted to say is, are you measuring your return? So here's what I see happen quite a lot. I've got clients at the moment in this exact situation. They're spending, let's call it somewhere between $800 and $2,500 a month on a management retainer fee for a Facebook ad expert. Then they're spending ad spend, and it could be anywhere from $20 a day through to $100 a day. You know, we're talking about potentially a couple of grand a month plus a couple of grand a month on the ads management specialist. And often the ROAS may come up as, a 2, for example. So for every dollar you spend, you're getting 2 back. However, what most people don't account for in there is that the ROAS they should be working on, the ROAS, is including the management fees, is including the stock cost and the freight cost to get their product to the customer. So if you're selling $3,000 worth of product and it's cost you $1,500 in ad spend, but you're spending $1,500 that month on the management fees, plus you're spending another $1,500 to get that product to the customer, i.e. what does that Yeti cup cost you landed in your warehouse, plus the freight and delivery costs for you to send that to the customer, then in actual fact, you've probably lost money on that. And this is the bit that I really want to nail home to you guys, because I'm really worried that you're spending money every month thinking that you're getting customers. And yes, you might get some customers, but it's actually costing you more than you're putting in. And that's where I decide Facebook ads are largely dodgy, because and here's one of the deal breakers, and this is where I'm controversial. I actually don't like Facebook ads management people. I have run 6 companies in the last 13 years, and I have had countless Facebook ads agencies work for me. And I can't recommend a single one to you in saying, I think this is a really good agency, you should use them. It's probably because I liken them a little to car salespeople, maybe used car salespeople, really. I think they tell you everything you want to hear. They commit you to a 3-month minimum contract with them where you're locked in to agree to 3 months of $2,000 a month retainer. So let's call it a $6,000 minimum spend with them plus your ad spend. And in that time, yes, they might spend 20 hours in the first month setting up your ad sets and tweaking them a little. And then for the next 2 months, they kind of sit there just taking your retainer and not doing a lot. And often after the first 3 months are up, you actually realize that you need to get out of the contract. So you cancel it. But by then, they've already made $6,000 out of you. And they probably haven't even really sent you management reports, which is a point I want to make on this call. You absolutely should be getting a weekly or a fortnightly management report from your ad agency person that tells you exactly what your key numbers you need to know are: cost per click, conversion rate, ROAS, your dollar ad spend, whether they think the campaigns are effective or not, which of the ad sets are performing better than others, and which ones they're going to keep tweaking. And every month, what tweaking have they done in your account? What different images have they swapped over? What ad copy have they tweaked to try and get a better result for you? Because I'm willing to bet they haven't done anything in the second 2 months, and potentially long term. Now, I don't mean to be too controversial, and I need to be really clear. The brands that scale past $1 million are absolutely doing Facebook ads. However, if you're earning less than 10 grand a month in revenue, I would argue that spending money on Facebook ads is money that you're taking out of your family's mouth to feed. And that is not a smart business decision, because I believe that small businesses and productpreneurs and mumpreneurs and all of these beautiful brands and ladies that I help should be focusing on looking after themselves and their families always first. And secondly, the business should be existing and growing, but never at the cost of what they're putting inside their family in terms of money. So if you're worried about money and cash flow is tight, you should absolutely not be doing Facebook ads. So that's the first thing. Feel free to jump over and give me a comment if you've got any questions you want to ask inside this chat, by the way. So we've got a couple of things here. You treasure what you measure. So if you're not accurately checking what you're spending on Facebook ads, start doing that every week. Secondly, you need to know management reports from your expert. You need to be seeing what your numbers are from somebody else's perspective. Third thing, don't be afraid if you do have ads turned on to do an audit by another person. So this is something I'm pretty keen to do for you guys, but I'm out there at the moment trying to find a Facebook ads person who can do audits for you guys. I've contacted about 7 people over the last week that are possibles, that are a lower hour per rate. They're not a fixed fee monthly retainer kind of ad expert, but they have the skills and credentials behind them to maybe help you guys. I'm really keen for you to consider, if you are doing Facebook ad experts, that you actually have somebody who goes through your account and tells you, are your conversion ads set up correctly? Or is this kind of like, has your ad agency person set you up as more of a branding exercise? In which case, turn it off instantly and don't spend a cent. Unless you can show that your Facebook ads are directly getting you sales and that there is a direct correlation. And in actual fact, that your Facebook ads are not just getting you new sales, but are retargeting people who have visited your website and who have clicked out, you must have retargeting ads set up. Unless you're doing those things, you're kind of not really hitting the mark with Facebook ads. So that's another thing I'd like to share with you. In the next week, I'm going to launch inside the group here some Facebook ad audit options for you guys if you want someone to have a look at your account and give you an independent opinion. Right, what else do I need to tell you? focus on conversion ad sets. So they're the ones that will get you direct sales. And remember that they say it takes 7 times for somebody to recognize your brand name before they buy. So if they don't buy on the first click through, make sure you have some things set up for retargeting. Make sure you get them into your email list so that you can send them emails and promote to them. And think about not just promotions, but what other things can you do to add value to your customers that give them something that supports them in whatever their problem is that you're solving, that isn't just direct sales copy. So that's a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. I'm also testing, you might have seen, if you haven't already done my 5 days of Scale Your Sales Facebook Messenger chatbot, I would love you to jump into that. That's tagged at the top of this group. Essentially, that is a bit of a test actually that I've set up because I want to share with you guys how you can use chatbots to try and run competitions, quizzes, giveaways, promotions that are, I guess I'm a little bit innovative in that way. I'm really keen for you guys to be able to sell to your clients where you're not doing exactly the same thing as everybody else. I like to think that you can be a little bit different. And therefore, I'm trying to find some new things for you guys. So I have an expert who's really low cost in Australia who's set up that funnel for me. And I'm really keen to see the results. And if it works, then I definitely, to my clients, I will be sharing exactly how to set something like that up for your product brand. So as always, I'm here to support you. There's a few ways I can do that. One of these lives and these tips that I'm going to drop inside the Facebook group. So if that is all your budget allows for right now, you're 100% in the right place. Feel free to tag any other mumpreneurs you know inside this group. Get them in. Let's help everybody who is in the same predicament as you. Secondly, if you think that you can stretch it to a bit of budget, I do one-to-one coaching, and I'm super excited to announce I am starting the first e-commerce academy next month. So this is a pretty epic tool for business owners such as yourself, and it's kind of like the business school that you should have gotten maybe at the end of high school but didn't. And that is all about how you can learn the foundational building blocks of how to build an e-com brand. And like everything, I do it in a pretty innovative way. So this is about low cost or no cost marketing and advertising. This is about getting yourself out of your own way to do with not getting stuck in your own way, really, like lack of time, lack of resources, things like that. We're going to cover off all of that kind of stuff. It's kind of everything you need to have not a leaky boat, but to have a boat that has no holes in it so that you can actually grow and scale the brand. Because we all know that if you try and set off to cross the Pacific in a boat full of holes, you're never going to get there. It's never going to make that $1 million mark if you don't have an incredibly solid platform to start with. So I have a $500 discount voucher for that e-commerce academy if you do my 5-day Scale Your Sales Facebook Messenger which is linked at the top of this group. If you want any more details, jump on a 15-minute free call with me. I have flagged plenty of those links through this page as well for you to be able to jump online and talk to me one-to-one. Let's talk about you, let's talk about your business, and let's see how I can help you. I hope that's answered some of your questions this morning. Let me just have a bit of a read of some of these questions and we'll answer them. So Jasmine has said, this doesn't apply to Google Ads. Look, Google Ads are a little bit different. I have, like, just to give you an idea, in my $2 million nappy brand, I did some Facebook ads, but not a lot. I did focus more on Google Ads and SEO in the early days, mainly because I never liked any Facebook ad experts. I always did the 3 months with them and ended up pulling the pin. I tried cheap people in India. I tried very expensive ad agencies here in Australia at like $3-4 grand a month retainers. I never really liked any of them. So yes, Google Ads, I would definitely give that a crack as an option. It depends on how competitive your keywords are though. So that's where you need to find someone who you can trust to have a look at stuff directly with you. Jasmine also says, I've hired a few Facebook specialists and it was always not worth it as they just couldn't get it to the level that I couldn't get better. So I've given up outsourcing. Well, actually, you've raised a really good question here, Jasmine. Should you do your own ads? I would say that for 80% of women, no, you shouldn't do your own ads. There are, however, some mumpreneurs out there who have, let's call it an engineering aspect to their brain. I don't. I go into Ads Manager and I just glaze over. I know what to look for. Ask me to tweak my own ad sets and I will find 50,000 other things to do in the house. That means I don't need to do it myself. So I know that I need to find people to do that for me. If, however, you get in there, one of my clients is epic, and she's scaled her brand to more than $1 million a year in baby products, and she loves Facebook ads. She's in there every day playing with them. So if that's you, 100% you can do it yourself. If you're like me and you're like, no, I would avoid them like the plague. And definitely no Facebook ads, Beck. Under 10 grand a month, I just don't think the budget's there for it. And otherwise, it's a little bit like throwing money away in the wind, and that's the last thing I want for you. There are lots of other things that you can focus on that are either no cost or low cost. Yes, they're a little bit harder work than, I think that's the problem with mums. It's easy to just say, oh, I'm going to get someone else to do my ads, and then I don't need to have anything to do with it. And I see this all the time, and it is the greatest mistake. I am a massive fan of delegation. Please don't do everything yourself, but if you're going to delegate something, you must know how that thing is done. The last thing I want is for anyone ever to give up their power. And I do see this regularly with my beautiful mum clients, is that they find someone who can solve that problem and they chuck it at them, and they turn around and they look the other way and they're like, I don't know, I don't want to look at that project because that person said to me that they're going to get it done. And do you think that person's going to do it if you're not looking at them? Not really. So the last thing that I want is for you to outsource something, give it away, and not understand what's happening there. What I do need for you to do, though, is you don't need to know how to do every minute detail yourself, but you need to understand if what you have done is performing. Are you getting a good conversion? Is there some kind of return on investment? And is that person accountable inside your business? So anything in your business you delegate or outsource, you must be thinking, can I track it and measure it? And am I seeing that that is a worthwhile activity to continue doing? And do I trust this person to keep doing it? Am I watching them and am I impressed by what they're doing? So that's a really important thing. SEO, look, I'm actually about to do a bunch of stuff on SEO as well to teach you guys. I'll come back to you on SEO a bit more. SEO is absolutely important, but should you spend $2,000 a month with an SEO company? No. The companies that do spend $2,000 a month with an SEO company, because they do exist, SEO brands that will charge you decent retainers, they're the kind of brands that are turning over 100 or 200 grand a month, and $1,000 or $2,000 a month retainer for SEO is a long-term investment. SEO often will not start delivering for 6 or 12 months from when you first invest, and therefore it's not really a quick fix. So I would not be focusing on that. How do you get to 10 grand a month without Facebook ads? That's a really good point. Lots of other things. So there's micro influencers, there's affiliate setups, there's collaborations with other brands or associations or groups that have the audience that you're looking for. There are email marketing campaigns. You can look at a lot of other strategies that are a little bit more painful to implement but won't take money out of your kids' mouths. And that's, I guess, what I'm focusing on. And that is exactly what I teach inside my e-commerce academy, which is next month, guys. It's on my website and live. You're welcome to go and have a look. I have a 3-month payment plan option on that e-commerce academy as well, because I want to spread the payments out for you guys and make it affordable. It is possible to get to 10 grand a month. I was doing about 100 grand a month before I really heavily invested in Facebook ads. So it is entirely possible, but it's about being innovative. And that's everything I teach you guys, is about being lean and innovative. And I call them guerrilla marketing tactics. How can you do low cost, high result kind of marketing campaigns that are different to what everybody else is doing? And they are the things that I focus on. The chatbot, Courtney loves my chat box funnel. I love it too. I did that as a 5-day, video. So 5 strategies over 5 days. You can do it for quizzes, competitions, quizzes like, what kind of parent am I? Or competitions might be win $1,000 wardrobe makeover, or I don't know. There's lots of applications to this, and my ManyChat guy is epic, and I'm keen to look at being able to help you guys with him as a expert to help you do that. Courtney says, do you recommend companies like ClickBank and finding people who have great email lists that is tailored to your niche? I don't know, ClickBank, Courtney. I'd happily have a look at it with you. I'm not sure. There are some innovative ways to do this, but there are also a lot of used car salesmen out there who want to get you to invest money with them. And do you get the results? Maybe, maybe not. I think every marketing investment needs a pretty good logical look at it, and I'm really not a big fan of anything that costs you a significant amount of money. I like to do things in a very lean way. Like, for example, I don't know if many of you know this about me, but when I had my nappy brand, before I even had, because it took us 2.5 years of R&D. Here was I thinking 6 months and we'd have a product in Australia. Delusional. 2.5 years of R&D, and about a year and a half in, we'd booked 5 baby expos around Australia. And we rocked up to do competitions on our stands to give away a year's worth of nappies. And in the process, we got 30,000 email addresses of parents who were looking to buy nappies. And we sold or pre-sold over $100,000 worth of nappies before we'd even finished our prototype. So when I say lean, innovative strategies, yes, we had to invest in those baby expos, but we did something that no one else was doing in that space. So we got a database of people to market to for the next 2 years. We got our first $100,000 worth of cash to put into our first container of stock, or first 2 containers, and we pre-sold it so that we could test and measure and get feedback from our customers. So I'm a huge fan of not following the trends of what everybody else is doing. Unless anyone else has any other questions, feel free to jump in and ask them now. Otherwise, I'm going to say to you guys, have an epic Monday. I'm really keen for you guys to have a big week. It's the perfect week for me anyway. It's nice and rainy here, and that means that I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything outside, and I can do more work in my brand. This week I'm going to give away a strategy session with me. So that's my marketing exercise for this afternoon, on my Monday afternoon block of time. I'm going to give away a free mentoring session with me this week in order for people to invite their friends that are mumpreneurs into our Facebook group. So I will be launching that inside the Facebook group this week. And don't forget, so the e-commerce academy, just to summarize on that, it starts at the end of next month. It's a 6-week journey where we delve into each of these modules, and we set the building blocks for your business. It's twice a week we show up during the day for a 45-minute live, just you guys and me, and you will get access to more than 60 videos inside of my video vault, which are all implementable strategies and things you can do inside your brands. You will also get, and probably the most valuable part of this, is an e-com Bible. So this is my manual that I've been working on for a few months and putting together for you guys. That is part of what you get inside of this, as well as a bunch of other things that are all on the page on my website about the e-commerce academy. And the price point for that one is $19.97. And I have a $500 discount voucher if you do my 5-day chat funnel, which brings it down to $14.97, unless you want to do my payment plan, which it doesn't apply to. And that's $750 one month, $750 the next month, and $500 the third month, just to make it affordable. I hate spending money on mentors. I don't know if you know my story, but I've spent more than 150 grand on mentors in the last 14 years. And I've had a bunch of free mentors as well. So lots of mentoring in my bank. But even a few weeks ago, I spent 3.5 grand to do a weekend course with this guy who I'd never met before. I jumped on a call with him, but he solved my problem. And I liked his social proof, and I liked chatting with him. So I grudgingly paid the 3.5 grand to him, and within about a week I had repaid my money from that weekend. So I can pretty much guarantee you that if you come into this e-commerce academy with me, I will help you to scale your brands. There's zero doubt in my mind that I will give you strategies and things that you won't be able to find on your own, and you won't find from other mentors, because I do things a little bit differently. And in that capacity, I have a happiness guarantee in there. If you start my e-commerce academy and you are not hooked and in love with it, I will gladly refund your money, because I am here purely to serve you guys and make sure that all of you get the same opportunities that I had by having awesome mentorship to be able to grow your brands and to get really clear on what success looks like for you in that space. Are you wanting to have $1 million brand, or maybe you actually just want to make 100 grand a year, and that means that we maybe need to go to 300 or 400 grand a year revenue when you have your beautiful margin in there and you are able to run it in 10 or 15 hours a week, and that makes you happy, because it's important to find out what's your version of success look like. And that's one of the first things that I dive into with customers who or clients who do one-to-one coaching with me. Pauline's got writer's cramp. She's taking too many notes. I love it. Pauline's actually one of my beautiful clients who does one-to-one coaching with me, who is in the middle of epic breakthroughs with her brand. And I cannot wait to see what we are bursting through this week with your brand, Pauline, because it's pretty exciting what we're doing with you. Beck, I'm glad you're feeling better for not doing Facebook ads. I just yes, I'm a big fan on not investing too much there. And Beck, the other Beck, yes, you've spent lots of money on courses and mentors too. Me too, honey. And it always hurts. And I always know afterwards that it was absolutely worth every cent. For about 5 years, guys, I had a mentor who was overseas, and I spent 35,000 US dollars each year on his program. It wasn't 35 at the start. I think when we joined him, it was about 20,000 US, but by the end, it was 35,000. And then I ended up pulling out because I was like, okay, this is actually just too much money. But for nearly 5 years, he was my mentor. And a lot of the innovative stuff that I know to do in business that's different to what everyone else is doing, I learned from him. So I promise you that my fees are never that high. And I think I'm pretty good value, to be honest with you, for the kind of work that we get done together. And yes, Courtney, I can't wait to work with you together. Courtney was one of my clients new clients who signed up last week, who is going to do 10 hours one-to-one with me. So I do sell 5-hour and 10-hour blocks of my time. Have got the e-commerce academy next month, but for some of my clients, they're preferring to do one-to-one stuff. It's a little bit more expensive, my e-com academy, but we get insane stuff done in our calls every week where we really get sharp on brands. So Courtney, I can't wait to work with you this week as well. Globally growing, my darling. Yes, globally growing. It's a dream and it can happen. Pauline says, I have the best mentor. She has me thinking outside the box and my happiness level is off the Richter. That's awesome. Pauline and I have done probably 3 calls now, I think. So 3 1-hour calls over the last month. And that's how she feels. So if you want to feel that way about your brand, book a 15-minute free call with me and let's have a talk about your brand and see if I can help you, because I actually can't help everyone. Occasionally I do meet people where I'm like, look, I'm probably not the best person for you, or I don't believe that your business is capable of affording me right now, or that the business potentially has the growth in its current form. So of course, this is the other thing, guys, I'm really passionate about. Don't do Facebook ads if your Facebook ads are going to bring people to a website that's not optimized, to a product that isn't ideal, to a price point that doesn't really hit, to a story that is non-existent, because you're going to waste your money. So that's probably the biggest thing I should have said on this call, is that Facebook ads are great, but only when everything else is already lined up. Please don't bring Facebook ads to a site that isn't absolutely bang on perfect and that you know will convert people. And that is all the stuff that I will work on inside my Ecom Academy next month. That is where we will look at all of the aspects of your business to turn it into a lean, mean sales machine. So on that note, guys, I'm going to head off to my Monday and get on with my admin and marketing activities. I am available if anyone has any questions. You can always post inside the group and book a call with me if you want to chat any further about any of the things we've talked about today. So toodaloo, stay safe and dry, and I will see you again soon. Bye.